Hey y'all, welcome back to the Talkoffame podcast. I'm your host, as you know, Caitlyn Lackie, and you guys are seeing such a familiar face on this episode. And it's actually a part two episode. I had Caitlyn on when I first started earlier. I forget what episode, but she's such a great friend of mine. Me and her have been actually did a podcast together for a bit, and it's crazy. We haven't done a podcast in forever. And if anyone doesn't know, she's a model and basically a podcast host now, right? And this episode is about to be it's actually a little different from usual episodes because we're going to be talking about topics that are going to be meaningful to not only you guys but to us as well, um and make sure to figure out some things and figure out life, and just figure out stuff for us and everything. And so I have so much to say about these topics, like living through life, mental health, etc. And I'm so happy Caitlyn can join me for this episode because I know it's very meaningful to her as well. I know me and her have talked about these topics so often that we're like, we need to do an episode on this. So, Caitlyn, thank you for coming on this one. It's been so long. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. It's been a long time.
I know it's been forever. I think it's like almost a year since we kind of did, like a Zoom call type of setting.
Yes. Yeah, no, this has been insane.
I know. It's like it literally just feels like yesterday we were on a Zoom call filming a podcast episode for our podcast like
Yeah,
last year. It's just crazy how much time flies.
that was insane. That was so fun too.
I know. It was so much fun. We would be on the Zoom call for an hour or more and talk about podcasting and talk about life and drama. Like it was seriously the best time ever.
It was great.
And
I
I
was
wanted to ask you, to dive in a little bit, how do you kind of manage to kind of figure out life as you just got done with college as a freshman in college at U Albany?
so I think it can be kind of different for everyone. A lot of people, if they do their first year and they're like, okay, I want to transfer, a lot of times they kind of have that figured out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I went in my first year at UAlbany and I just decided on majoring in communications because I was like, okay, I have to go to school. I'll go here and then I'll major in communications because I think, I'll be good at it. I think it'd be fun. And it was fun. I loved communications.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's just at the moment, it's not something that I would enjoy pursuing right now, which is
Mm-hmm.
also something super, super important to note that you might want to do something now and you don't want to do it in a couple years, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Like
Like
every mindset changes from where you are right now to maybe 5 years later, and you might be like, okay, I want to do something else.
completely, yeah, living situations, your major. I mean, this is like your career. Like it's a big
Mhm.
deal. So, yeah, I think, sorry, what was the question again? I got so caught up in my own.
Yeah, it's how did you kind of manage to figure out as a freshman in college at UApp, and how did you kind of figure out that situation from going from graduating early to kind of go to college as a freshman? How did you kind of manage to do all that in the matter of some time?
Well, it was definitely very difficult. Like getting thrown into school when I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do. I barely looked at the school because that was such a whim. I really went on a whim and I just decided to apply to UAlbany a week before, 2 weeks before move-in day when all of my other friends had known months ahead of time. And I was like, okay, it's close. They
Mhm.
offer, communications and it's a school. So let's try it. And then
I think communications is one of you Albany's popular majors. I believe I was looking at colleges things over the last year and a half, and I actually looked up U Albany. I think I could be wrong. That it was one of the most popular majors there. I believe I could be wrong.
mm, no, they're very they have a very good communications program and going they let me know I think it was maybe 2, 3 days before I moved in that I was accepted and that they had an open spot for me. And I was like, oh my God. So I moved in like 2 days before classes started. I moved in that weekend. I moved in on a Saturday, I think. And then classes started on Tuesday, I believe. And everybody else had already been there for like a week. Everybody else moved in a week before. So I it was kind of new. I went in and none of my roommates, my suite mates, nobody knew I was coming in. And they did not let them know that they were getting a new suite mate. My roommate didn't know I was going to be her roommate. Like, nobody had any idea. Thank God. I'm so grateful I got in with a great bunch of people. Um, because I don't know what I would have done if I was not with them. But
Mhm.
yeah, and then they kind of threw me in. There was an empty spot in the honors college, and I went in, had no idea I had a suite. I had no idea what kind of room it was. They just told me the room. Um, and I went in, I went up, and my whole family's there. We opened the door. We're like, I hope they said something. I hope they know. And they were all in the common room of our suite, and they all just looked at me, and they were like, what is she doing?
Like, why is she doing here? Like,
And I walked in and I just moved and I was like, yeah, sorry, like I thought they would have told you guys, like, and they were very sweet though. They were always really great and I still talk to them. I'm going to one of my sweet mates, her birthday in a week, I believe, 2 weeks. Um, in Long Island. So that's gonna be really fun. I love them. I love them all so much. Like we have created some of the strongest bonds that I've ever had with anybody. And like your roommate and like your suite mate bond it's so special,
mhm.
and because you guys are all just figuring out life together and what to do, and it's like at first it's like you guys are my only friends here right now. I mean, obviously my best friend was went to the same school as me, so I did have that, but other than that, like I didn't know anybody. So yeah, we were like inseparable. But honestly, like that's I guess my biggest advice to people who are going to school is like really get to know the people around you, because like the people closest to you, I mean sometimes can be, your biggest supporters and they can be your best friends. So definitely get close with your roommate, your suite mates if you have any. Get to know the people on your floor. That's
Mhm.
so important, especially when you're just moving in, because nobody tells you how to navigate life once you get there.
Mhm.
So, going from like having literally no idea what I was doing and not researching the school and literally knowing absolutely nothing about anything there, um, just definitely like me and my suite mates and our suite, the suite next to us, we were all really good friends. And then my best friend, Gabby, who went to UAlbany, she and her roommate were really good friends. So I became friends with her roommate, and then her roommate made friends, and then there was friends down the hall. But like you meet one person and you can meet from them 10, 15 other people,
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
clubs, I cannot stress enough, clubs are the most important thing. You need to, I mean,
Mhm.
obviously aside from your schoolwork ish. But clubs are so important. Like, if
Mhm.
I did not join my dance team, I don't know where I would be. I would be without a lot of friends. I would not have half the confidence that I now have gained from that, I feel like.
Mhm.
And it just teaches you a lot about yourself, and it looks amazing on your resume.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So
like,
much. Like I feel like any experience you get where it's like dancing or something, it would make you 100 times better to get a job or something.
yeah, and connections. Connections are so big. I did
Mhm.
an internship. And a lot of things too, like not a lot of people tell you this stuff, but I know at UAlbany they have, and I'm sure at many other schools they have this too. They have a community service program. So I did like a little internship at the Go Green scene on UAlbany, which is like, sustainability, and they promote all this stuff. And I was on the communications team. So I did like their Instagram and I talked to, like our higher ups and everything about just like promotion and that kind of a thing for for the sustainability program on campus and all this stuff. So like that helped a lot. And in the summer, I would definitely say if you still plan on going back to your school and everything, even if you're not, just do everything that you can.
Definitely.
Everything.
And like, did you kind of see a change in yourself from when you first started college to now in the summer onto sophomore year?
Oh, for sure. I started out, I feel like, I mean, a little bit, we all kind of have this like naivety and innocence,
Mhm.
especially before college, because I mean, you have no idea how any of this works. You've never really, I mean, never really been in the real world, if you think about it like that. And you're almost kind of, I mean, you are kind of sheltered at home, more so, way more so than going to college or going to school. So I I definitely got way more confident. Being I also noticed being at home and being at school kind of bring out different sides of me. Um,
Yeah.
one is definitely more guarded. So at school, I'm definitely more like, I feel like I'm more confident. I think I'm more guarded. I'm more optimistic, if that makes
Mhm.
any sense. I don't know if that correlates with anything I just said, but like I'm way more like extroverted.
Yeah.
But I'm also like a lot of times, because this happened with a lot of my friends, with guys and everything, like I tell a lot more people off than I do at home.
Mhm.
Because I think also at home I feel more like my guard's down and I feel kind of like way safer and protected. Meanwhile, as in my dorm, I would have like a baseball bat next to me just in case, like my roommate's crazy ex like banged on the door or something.
Like
Like
something stupid happens and you just need
yeah,
it for protection. Like
yeah.
as long as you have like a bat or something, you're all good. You're all set.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, like I keep that next to me at all times.
That is definitely something. As long as you have maybe like a knife or like
Yeah,
not
just
knife, not like a
something,
actual weapon, but like a baseball bat, or
a
maybe like
pocket
a
knife.
baseball or something. Just throw it at them or bang them.
Yeah, or like, if you have any like bear spray.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, spray to spray.
Yeah.
That would be helpful too.
Oh
Like
yeah.
whether you're in college or not, like it's such a helpful tool. I know my sister used to carry around that all the time.
Yeah, she should.
Yeah, as you should, right? Because you're like, this world is crazy. Even if you live in a safe town, like you may
Oh
not
yeah.
know you need it. Like even if you do live in like a very safe town.
Yeah.
And guys, you are on summer break. Like, how do you kind of use this time for yourself and like your mental health and kind of take a break from college and work and just slow down a bit?
That's an amazing question. At first I found it really difficult and really hard for myself to unwind and be able to kind of chill and breathe. It was really hard for like my mind to catch up to my body. And because at school it's always go, 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 go.
Yeah.
I have no time for anything when when I wasn't at dance, I was doing my homework and then I would try to, find my friends and I'd be like, okay, like the only way that we could really find time to be together and sit down and socialize was either we ate together or if we were doing homework together. So there would be that and then I was always doing homework. Oh my goodness. It flooded like every crevice of my brain. I was doing that. I was studying for exams. And then we would have like dance hell week. So that would be every single night from like 8 to sometimes 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And then we'd go to bed and then wake up early for classes. Like, so from that to getting home and then not having like a summer job already lined up and just trying to chill and trying to, breathe and literally having like next to nothing planned unless I plan it with my friends from home or like this podcast with you um or just doing like I don't know like acting modeling submissions. Other than that, and eating, of course.
Or
That's
drinking,
you
whatever.
know number one. um Other than that though, there's really little for me to have planned. So just doing all of that to kind of sitting and watching TV and finding time, to work out and everything, it was really difficult. And it took me like 2 months. I mean, it was only like a couple weeks ago that I actually got my shit together and I was like, okay, Caitlyn, like, you gotta like do something about this. Like, cause the burnout was insane and it took me a lot to recover from that. So I think from that, I just really let myself rest. That was like my number one thing was just letting myself lay in bed and letting myself, be okay with that and not constantly like berating myself and being like, you're lazy, like you should be getting up at this time and you have to be doing all this stuff. Because that weighed very heavily on me, was like, you're not doing anything. Why are you sitting here doing nothing? And obviously, I'm more so of the type of person to be like, okay, I like to go, and I like to wake up and I like to have my routines, but I like a clean space, like, and my space was not clean, and I think that was really important though. That I think that definitely took a toll on me too, in a way, because I had not cleaned up my stuff from school, from moving out of school, or we moved houses. So, like, I also hadn't moved in fully from that either. And my mom and my nana, they still aren't moved in yet, and it was like we moved in March, I think. But yeah, so I had to deal with my college stuff and all the boxes for moving. And I think after though, I decided one night, I was like, I'm gonna clean my room. I'm gonna get my space all straightened out. And I did it, and I felt 1,000,000% better. And I feel like that, I don't know what it was, but that was like a game changer for me. And I remember one night just being like, I just can't do this anymore. I took a shower. Showers always make me feel better.
Me too. Yeah, I don't know why, but something about showers. So yeah, I'll be there for like 15 minutes, I have my phone and playing music, and I feel so much better.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, anything that you can do self-care wise that feels good for you. For me, it's like showering. I like to go on little walks sometimes. It makes me feel better. I'll do like my Pilates, videos, and I'll spend some time with my dogs. I'll watch some feel-good shows. Um, and I'll try not to, if I realize that like, staying in my bed is making me feel not great, not as great as I would like it to, then, I'll find a way to get myself out of it and such. But I would definitely allow yourself to have just as long of a period of rest as you need.
Definitely. Like I can't tell you like the last time like I actually did something for myself, like actually had time to besides traveling and stuff. Of course, I love traveling and stuff. Like I just got back from a week travel this week, and then like moving on from podcasts and meeting up with friends and stuff like that. It's like with going back and forth from thing to thing and traveling and not getting any sleep rarely and stuff. Like it's just like it's too much for like for myself and other people if they're going through the same thing. Like when like with going through that and like going from one thing to another, it can be so tiring. And like what today, I was literally since 1 o'clock this afternoon, I literally been going nonstop at work and work and work and work and work. And it's not a bad thing. I love being busy, but it's like if you do that every single day, it can be so tiring. And like I can't tell you how much like well was the last time I actually didn't have anything going on and I actually just sat down, watched TV, and actually did things for myself without having anything going on. Like
Mm-hmm.
basically, like with my schedule, like it's I have a hard time managing my schedule. That I literally have probably multiple interviews every single day with no time to really eat, drink, or whatever I need to do. So it can be this very tiring, and it would just can damage your brain and how it works, and actually have time to slow down.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me when I was in college that really helped me organize my time better was just I got a little whiteboard. It's hanging in my room right now. And I just started writing down everything that I had to do that day or what I had to do that week, and I would set up like my schedule in my head the night before. So I was like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wake up at this time so I have enough time, from say 9:30, and then I'm gonna get breakfast, and then I'm gonna get ready, that takes about, maybe 30 minutes,
Mhm.
40 minutes because I have to wash my face, and then depending on if there's anyone in the bathroom. Um, and just like kind of figuring out my schedule that way, and then smushing in, okay, this is the time I have to eat, I'm making, like, I have to make time for everything. So I would always make my schedule the night before so I could make time for everything that I need to do, and then focus on after that what I want to do.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's what I need to do now because I'm like implement like to make some time for each day to like whether it's like eating, showering, or seeing friends. And not to like overbook yourself because like overbooking, that's literally what I do all the time. Like I was just talking with you with this before we started, but I guess it's like it's very hardcore and you're like, how can I change it? But it's like if you make a schedule saying, oh, I wake up at 8 o'clock and do this and this, it can be very mindful and help you make sure you have all that time to get things done and make time for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could do it in a journal. I love my whiteboard. My whiteboard is like my prized possession. She's so cutesy, and I write everything on it. It's like the main things that I want to focus on for like the month, and then it's like little things. Like I have from from the other day when I was getting ready for an open casting, I wrote AirPods, what did I say? Dance fit because I was gonna go dance that day. Eye masks, food, snacks, water, headshots, and then just a couple things like modeling digitals, practice your walk, job video, and then the job video schools, you know, um, make a reel. Those are all things that like I want to get accomplished during the week. And then I circle the things that I need to get done first so it doesn't all get conjumbled. But it helps me a lot.
That's definitely a good idea. I definitely need to start doing that. Now you inspired me, Caitlyn. I love it. And like, what are some things like you do to help your mental health? Like you say, like whether it's like going on a walk, meditation, journaling. Like, what are some things you do to kind of improve mental health when you're down?
One of my things, if I'm really like, it depends on what kind of thing. So if I'm like, I'm burnt out, if I'm exhausted and I'm just like, I need to pick me up, I need to get out of my head right now, I will shower. I will always shower. Showering's like, it's almost like the getaway for me. Like, I just kind of get in there. It's like a new world.
Oh
And
yeah, definitely. Like I used to take showers like every single day because I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like it's like whenever I'm tired and it would definitely wake me up. Like I was like, whenever I need to like besides coffee, I'm like, I'm just gonna use to take a shower.
of course, always, yeah. And I'll find some way to move my body, because I love dance.
Oh,
So
me
I
too. Oh,
will,
I mean, if like every time a song's on, I'm so serious. I'm literally always dancing for some reason. Like a couple
oh,
days ago, I was at a Phillies game, and I was literally like, we went on the field to watch fireworks. To make my mom worked for a company, and our company, like I guess Phillies when I was on the field, and when I was in the dugout, I was next to her boss and my mom, and I'm like literally just jamming out dugout with hundreds of fans just looking at me like think I'm crazy. But I'm like, anytime I had the chance to dance, I'm like, I just love it so much. I get just like I'm just in my own world for some
yeah.
reason.
No, it's amazing, and it's like that's also an escape. And I think sometimes, reading helps.
Mm, yeah,
But
I
yeah,
love
I love
reading.
to I love to be outside. I'll take my dogs for a walk sometimes if I'm like I need to get out of my head. It gives me some time to really focus and to get out of my head and to just kind of be there present in the moment. Because I mean, think about it, if you're moving your body, if you're either going on a walk, you're working out, you're playing with your dog, you're showering, like it all gives you something to kind of focus on and fixate on for a minute. And that, listen, it's not amazing all the time to, just like dissociation, you know, you don't want to be too far outside of your head or in your head, but balance, you know, balance is always balance for everything. Food, just a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle balance is all you really need. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think for me when I was going through really bad mental breaks, I for like months at a time, I would be very in my head. It would be hard for me to find motivation to do
Mm-hmm.
anything that I love, to do anything I used to love, to to find, you know, empathy or compassion for anything else. Like I just it's hard to really honestly feel things sometimes
Yeah.
when you're going through those ruts. And I found that at college my mental health at first was pretty bad, and then it started to go really good because I had created a routine for myself. I created stability. And that's like the biggest thing. For me, I go off the rails a little bit. I think it's really important to identify your triggers
Yeah.
and what kind of sends you into that. So for me, it's instability. And when I have stability and when I find my footing, then I'm okay and I'm good.
Mm-hmm. It's the same way for me. Is that like when you go to a different place other than like what you were used to, I
Hmm.
feel like you kind of lose that confidence because like you are at a new place and basically like you're still trying to grow about being away from home from your family because you're so used to being with your family all the time, even with your high school friends, that you're just like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Dad at college, a couple hours away from home, couple minutes from home, or whatever, how far you decide to go. But it's like at first it can be very hard to kind of just adjust to a new situation that you're in because in like when you're in that situation you're like, okay, how am I supposed to live my life when I was in high school, then I'm in college. And but when that
Hmm.
time goes on, you're like, okay, I'm still sitting here. I can stay here all the time. I don't need to go home, like type of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, and then you come home and you're like, what? And like the thing is that nobody talks about too is you get home and you don't feel at home exactly at college, but you don't exactly feel at home back where home used to be either.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's this really kind of like foot between two worlds kind of a thing, and it's really strange, but it's like I don't feel like this doesn't feel like my home, but you Albany didn't either. So it's like it's really weird
I
because then you're
know. Like
without your
with
best
going
friend.
from one place to another, the when you're actually home, then when you're at college, it's just like a big adjustment to where before you about to go to college. This is a huge my adjustment from where you first started before you went to college.
Yeah, yeah, and then that place that you end up going, like that becomes your home because you're there for longer than you are at home. I mean, you're home for like maybe 3 months, and then you're at college for the rest of them. Like it's crazy.
I
Like
know,
yeah,
right?
it's there's no other way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that is actually the perfect way to end it. Like I know with college it can be so difficult and I graduate in 2 years. So it's like I'm just like I just can't leave college, but I'm like, I don't want to leave home at the same time. It's like it's a
It's
big mix
amazing.
of emotions kind of thing.
Yeah. No, it's great. Honestly, like you will love it. It's a whirlwind of emotions and it's like this carousel that you're constantly riding, but it's like it's so worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much, Caitlin, for coming on. And I know like it's been forever since we've done this. I'm so happy we are able to actually do this again. It's been almost probably a year since we last done this. I'm so happy we were able to do this and we need to do it again soon for sure.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, like I hope you have a great rest of your day, Caitlin. I love you so much and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Feel free to reach out anytime.
Oh, of course, girl. I love you.
I love you always. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.